I woke up in my ex's bed, still fully dressed. By the end of that same day, my husband had already filed for separation. But what came after? I never saw coming. He had proof I didn't even know existed. It was a Sunday morning and I was completely disoriented, trying to figure out how I ended up in Tyler's bedroom when I could have sworn I fell asleep on his couch. Tyler was my ex from college. We dated for maybe 2 months 6 years ago, but we'd stayed close friends ever since. My head was pounding from all the drinks at his housewarming party. The smell of bacon drifted from the kitchen, and soon Tyler appeared, cheerful, making breakfast. He was kind, checking if I needed anything for my hangover, something David, my husband, never really bothered to do when I wasn't feeling well. I dragged myself downstairs, and Tyler handed me a cup of coffee and 2 aspirin. "You had way too much to drink," he said with concern. "I didn't want you driving like that, so I laid you on the couch. You must have gotten turned around in the night." The drive home was torture. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing with texts from David, but I didn't have the courage to look. When I finally walked through the front door, he was sitting at the kitchen table. Laptop open, a manila folder beside it. "Have a good night?" he asked, not even glancing up. "David, I can explain," I blurted out. "I drank too much, and Tyler let me crash at his place. Nothing happened, I swear." That's when he turned the laptop toward me. The screen showed photos, pictures from the party. Me and Tyler dancing far too close. My hand resting on his chest. Me laughing at something he'd whispered. And the last one, us walking upstairs together. "Sarah sent me these at 2 in the morning, David said, sliding printed screenshots across the table, along with some very interesting texts. My stomach dropped. They were messages between Tyler and me, texts from the past 3 months. Ones I thought were private. "Tyler understands me in ways you never will. I wish I'd never let you go. David's been so distant lately. I feel so alone. Maybe we made a mistake getting married so young." I stumbled over my words, insisting, "Those are just friendly messages. We talk about everything. That's what friends do." David's tone stayed eerily calm. "Is that what you call telling another man you love him? Because that's right here last Tuesday." My heart froze. I remembered that text. I'd been upset after a fight about the dishes. Tyler had comforted me, and I'd gotten emotional. I didn't mean it romantically. "I love him like a friend, David. You're taking it out of context." David stood and walked into our bedroom. When he came back, he had a suitcase in hand. 3 years of marriage," he said bitterly as he started throwing clothes into it. 3 years of me trying to understand why you needed to stay so close to him. 3 years of you calling me paranoid and controlling. "You are being controlling," I shot back. "Tyler's my friend. We dated briefly years ago." David didn't even look at me. "You've been having an inappropriate relationship for months, Jessica. The texts prove it. The photos prove it. And your own words seal it." I followed him around the house as he packed, begging him to listen. "I never cheated. I never slept with him. We're just friends who care about each other." He spun toward me, eyes sharp. "You told another man you loved him. You shared our marriage problems with him. You spent the night in his bed. What would you call that?" "I drank too much," I pleaded. "I made a mistake, but nothing physical happened." David stopped, staring at me like he didn't recognize me anymore. "Sarah said you two were making out on the porch before going inside. Half the party saw it." My mind went blank. I remembered laughing with Tyler outside, but kissing him? That couldn't be true. "She's lying. 5 different people texted me, Jessica," he said coldly. "They all saw the same thing." He zipped the suitcase and headed for the door. "My lawyer will be in touch about the divorce and separation papers." "David, please," I cried. "You're ending this over one misunderstanding?" He looked at me, eyes filled with exhaustion. "No. I'm ending it over months of lies. Over you choosing him again and again. Over you loving someone who isn't me." The door slammed, and suddenly I was alone. My phone started buzzing with messages, friends asking if I was okay. David had already posted on Facebook that we were separating. By Monday morning, everyone at work looked at me differently. Sarah had spread the story. My boss called me in, asking if personal issues would affect my performance. That afternoon my sister called. "Mom's worried about you," she said quietly. She heard from David's mother that you cheated. I didn't betray anyone, I said, my voice breaking. Why does everyone act like I committed a crime? I just fell asleep in the wrong room. Jessica, she said softly, be honest. Do you have feelings for Tyler? I hesitated too long. We're just friends. We've always been friends. That's not what I asked. The next few days were hell. David blocked me on everything. Our friends took sides, some believed me, others didn't. Tyler kept texting, asking if I was okay, offering to explain things to David. By Wednesday night, David's lawyer called. He was filing for separation immediately, citing inappropriate conduct and emotional abandonment. In Texas, he explained, that can affect asset division. I never cheated physically, I told him. Inappropriate emotional relationships are still grounds for fault, he replied. And there's plenty of documentation. That's when it hit me. David had been collecting evidence for weeks. Screenshots, photos, witness statements. He'd been preparing this whole time. Thursday morning, I opened Facebook to hundreds of comments. Someone had posted the party photos publicly. My coworkers, family, college friends, everyone saw me wrapped around Tyler. My mom called sobbing. How could you do this to David? He's such a good man. I didn't do anything, I whispered. We're just friends. Friends don't act like that, she said. Friends don't tell each other they love them when they're married. By Friday, David had moved all his things out. The house felt hollow. Then Tyler showed up. This is insane, he said, sitting on my couch. David's acting like you killed someone. Everyone's treating me like a homewrecker. You didn't do anything wrong, I told him. We're friends. I was drunk, upset, and needed a place to crash. But as he talked, memories started surfacing. The way we danced, how I'd felt in his arms, the way I'd looked at him and wondered what might have been. Tyler, I asked quietly, did anything happen after we went upstairs? He looked uneasy. You were really drunk. You said some things. What things? You said you married the wrong man. That you still had feelings for me. Then you kissed me. My whole body went numb. I kissed you. Just once, he said. Then you passed out. I put you in my bed because you looked sick. I slept on the couch. Everything clicked, the pictures, the texts, the kiss. I didn't even remember it happening. David had been right all along. I hadn't just betrayed him physically. I'd been emotionally cheating for months without realizing it. Sharing our marriage struggles with Tyler instead of fixing them with my husband. Comparing the two men and resenting the one I married. But now it was too late. David had already filed. Our friends had already judged. My family had already turned against me. I sat alone in the empty house, realizing I'd lost everything over something I kept calling innocent friendship. But deep down I knew the truth, it was never just friendship. I held on to Tyler because he made me feel wanted in all the ways David no longer did.